This is ESPN Radio 103.7 and 1450. Zach Seyko here on the line today. We welcome back State College varsity boys lacrosse head coach Tyler Kaluza. Tyler, thank you so much again for your time.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to our conversation because State College lacrosse has really taken off. The program that we talked about the last time, the building blocks and the foundation that you wanted to set is really starting to come together very well in this season. At the time of this conversation, double-digit wins, doing very well against some tough competition in the Mid-Penn and across Pennsylvania. Since our last conversation, has anything changed as far as the way the team was? Maybe they figured something out. Some of the puzzle pieces started to come together. What has really been working for the team to be successful?
I think it's just a matter of buy-in to practice of what we're doing there and trying to get better each and every day. I think it's getting familiar with one another, getting comfortable with one another on our offensive lines. Our defense is really starting to come together, led by our three poles and our goalie, Zach Paterno. So I think it's just a confidence thing. I think it's just getting that team bond, that gel, I want to say, and just really having some confidence. We won 7 games in a row now, and I think that it's just a matter of buy-in from at practice and then continuing that into the games.
Yeah, you mentioned 7 games in a row, starting with Chambersburg, leading all the way through against Lower Dauphin, and a lot of quality wins along the way. What has there been a consistent theme other than really the defense, especially as of late? 1 goal, 4 goals allowed, 4 goals allowed, 3 goals allowed. What has really been the turning point in some of those wins? Where are they gaining confidence the most, you would say?
Yeah, I mean, our defense, like I said, our 3 poles, Steven Skordas, Ryan D'Amico, and Jack Morris, have been really solid for us. They're tough, physical, aggressive kids that set the tone. And then obviously Zach's gained some confidence as well as goal. And then our long stick middies, Kyle Cunningham and Talon DiNicola, as well as our short stick defensive middies, Nate Price, Ian Brandt, and Eli Espinoza. They've just been awesome, really great players, hustle their butts off and just do the right things and are extremely coachable. So our defense has really been a strong suit, but our offense is getting really strong as well. Leo Vandervoort, one of our leading scorers, has been out the last couple of games with an injury. So a couple guys have had to step up. Ryan Hawbaker has really stepped up offensively for us. Obviously, Brandon Price is having a great year. Then our first line there with Carter Williams, Ty Salazer, and Cooper Brushwood, just really solid team effort, passing the ball on offense, moving it really fast, playing fast but relaxed is what we always say. And really just a great team effort the last few games. And it really started with that Crestwood win, being down 6-3 and clawing all the way back and winning that in double overtime with Leo Vandervoort putting that goal in. So I think that was a kind of a turning point, and it really got, again, that buy-in from everybody and realized what we could be.
Now, this is a very tough Mid-Penn conference that you're dealing with. Cumberland Valley's up top, Trinity's up top, Carlisle, above State College, because 9-2 in conference, and yet still sliding in at 4th place, but you've beaten some quality opponents, Central Dauphin being one of them. Going back to the Cumberland Valley game and the Trinity game, what were some of the takeaways that have now helped propel this team moving forward to beat just as equal of tough opponents?
I think it's just realizing that this conference is really tough, and there are really quality teams, and I think it's always best to play those top-tier teams at the beginning of the season. It gives you a good test, and you kind of understand what you need to do to get better rather than playing some softer teams. And you might have a better record in the early on playing some lower-level teams, but you kind of get a false confidence, if you will, by not playing the best team. So I think we learned from our mistakes. The kids obviously were frustrated with the losses, but they didn't quit. They bought into our coaching, and they bought into each other and started to hold each other accountable. And like I said, it starts with the practice about doing all the right things there, and then transitioning that into the game and just gaining that confidence. Again, said it for the first interview, we're a really young team. I think just keep getting that experience with our young guys is allowing us to have that confidence. Not cockiness, but it's a little bit of a swagger, which is good, and it's not overconfident, but just continuing to have that steadiness is really key.
State College boys varsity lacrosse head coach Tyler Kaluza is with us here on ESPN Radio. Palmyra Carlisle, one of those the top teams in the Mid-Penn, Mechanicsburg left on the schedule, pending any additions here towards the end. Those last three matches, what are you looking for as far as where the team can improve to set itself up for the postseason?
What we've been preaching the last couple of weeks here is just that 1-0 mentality. We know that each game in the Mid-Penn, especially on the road, all three of those games, is going to be tough. It's going to be a grind. So we're just trying to go 1-0, not looking ahead to anything else. I think we just want to keep continuing what we've been doing the last couple of games, play solid defense, move the ball on offense, execute on offense as well, be really good on ground balls and the hustle plays, and eliminating the turnovers and the penalties, which we've done a really good job at the last couple of games. So continuing to get better, continuing to get confidence, and then hopefully taking that 1-0 approach is leading us into playoffs, and we can get some momentum if we were able to get into that scenario.
State High is going to end the season with 4 consecutive away games. That's obviously not fun to do. And the senior ceremony, senior day, has been a lot earlier in the case. I know it's supposed to be the last home game, but it's switched around depending on what high school you're at. What has the senior group meant to you and recognize some of the senior leaders on this team? I know it's a young team, so you'll have a veteran group moving forward, but what have some of the guys really contributed this year that can help, again, continue to build that foundation for the Lax program here?
Yeah, so when I took over last year, those guys were obviously juniors, and again, we wanted to establish and change that culture of State College Lacrosse, and those guys have continued to buy into it. They continue to set the standard for it. Leo Vandervoort and Owen Perry, obviously being captains, have done a great job with that. Brandon Price has obviously his play on the field has spoken for itself, but he's doing a great job just establishing what that standard is. And then having Ryan D'Amico on the defensive end as a senior, getting a chance again to see him compete a little bit. He's a great athlete and a great kid that has had some injuries the last couple of years. So seeing him compete and being a part of our culture change has been great. So these seniors have meant a great deal to us and our program, and these younger kids, mentoring them, making sure that the standard is set. Because like you said, we do have a young team, and all we can ask for from our seniors is to set that standard and make sure that it's everyone's being held accountable as far as the underclassmen go.
You mentioned practice and that thing. The little things have been worked on, passing, ball control, the toughness, and everything that goes along with it, the values that State College wants to have. What else is being worked on in practice? Kind of walk through how practice is conducted to where these guys are 1% better, if not more, every single day.
Yeah, so we usually start with a clear drill, full field clear drill, just working on our passing, our fundamentals a little bit. Then get into some stretching, obviously get loose. Then go into some quick movement. We call it 3-ball. So starts with 3-on-2 and then goes to 4-on-3 and 5-on-4. We build up there. So just getting some good quick movement with our offense, which is obviously transcended into the games, which helps a lot. And then getting our defense moving and communicating and being aggressive. But then we'll go into some team stuff, always competition-esque. Making sure that we have that competitive mindset because that's going to transition into the game. So I think it's really imperative that we are constantly moving. You'll never see us do a drill probably no longer than 10 minutes. So we all want to make our kids moving and make that practice the most like a game scenario we can. And then usually ending with some 6-on-6 just to get better and finish up with some man up, just certain scenarios we need to get better at, man down for our defense and just making sure that we're fine-tuning some things and always practicing those fundamentals that carry into the game.
State College head coach Tyler Kaluza on the line with us here on ESPN Radio. Coach, another question that I have, understanding I know you don't want to look too far ahead. You still have 3 winnable games. You got to finish out the regular season. But the playoff landscape, I don't know how much different it is from, say, your traditional, like a football in the case where it's got the traditional district classification and you play in the Mid-Penn, in State College's case, the Mid-Penn Commonwealth. Whereas the lacrosse standings are combined with all schools that are in different classifications and different Mid-Penn conferences when it comes to other sports. So for anybody that isn't familiar with it, what does a typical lacrosse playoff look like? What are the next steps that would set up for State High, hypothetically?
Yeah, so we go through District 3. It's a little bit different than football, so we'll go right to District 3. There's a ranking system that's online that people can check out if they're interested in. And the top 12 teams make it into the playoffs of AAA lacrosse. There's a AA lacrosse division too, but we're in the AAA. And the top 12 teams make it. The first 4 teams get a bye, and then that 5 through 12 will play in a playoff scenario, and then obviously loser goes home and winners move on. So it's that 1-0 mentality. We're looking forward to it if we get the chance to do it, and hopefully if we can, our goal is to host a home playoff game again and win it this year, unlike we did last year.
If the regular season ended today, where would State College be right now? Would they receive a bye, or would State College be in the thick of the playoffs, but where would they be seated?
Currently, we would be hosting a home playoff game. I believe right now we're the 7th seed, but obviously we're not concerned about that right now. We want to focus on going 3-0 this week, and again, we're going to have a tough week, all 3 away games, and we just want to continue to get better and continue to focus on that, and when the playoffs come, we'll be ready for it.
I know you're looking forward to the possibility of a home playoff game, but are these 3 away matches, and I know it'll be 4 consecutive based on where we are having this conversation, but these final away matches all consecutively, is that going to be very beneficial going into the postseason?
I think so, but like I said before, our kids, we're used to it. A lot of these kids play multiple sports, and they're used to those mid-pen travel games. We know it's going to be a tough challenge, traveling an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then going to play. But as you can see from our last couple of games here, kids aren't really worried about that. They just kind of have that show up and play mentality, which is great. And we just want to continue that. And I think it's a really good challenge for us for playoffs because we know eventually we'll probably have to go on the road and suit up and go 1-0 that way. So, yeah, it definitely prepares us, and I think we're ready for it.
10-2 overall, 7-game winning streak at the time of this conversation, looking to add more wins to finish out the regular season. Regular season finishing up on Thursday, May 12th, if everything goes accordingly. I know that lacrosse is tough, so they play in this kind of weather, right? In the rainy, stormy weather?
Right, yeah. Been crazy spring with some snow in April, which always happens in Pennsylvania, but like I said, we always dominate what we can control, and we'll show up and play wherever and whenever.
Postseason's not too far behind as well. Looking forward to our next conversation, ladies and gentlemen. State College varsity lacrosse head coach Tyler Kaluza of State College. Thank you so much for your time again. And then our next conversation will hopefully be tailored around the postseason and previewing that important game.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.